In this demonstration, we will show how to configure a system-managed identity for a virtual machine running in Azure, and then use role-based access control to allow the virtual machine to interact with an Azure OpenAI resource. Using managed identities is always a better option for allowing access between a virtual machine and an Azure OpenAI instance than using key-based authentication. This is because Entra identities are more secure and can't leak in the way that authorization keys can. In the case of virtual machine-based identities, Entra will take care of all of the authentication and authorization. An architecture like the one presented here would allow an application deployed on the virtual machine to interact with the OpenAI service. We start in the Azure portal and we have a virtual machine named VM for AI applications already deployed. We open the virtual machines page in the Azure portal. Under Security, we select the identity item. This opens the identity blade. On this page, we can see two options: System Assigned and User Assigned. We can see from the page that the status of the System Assigned identity is off. A System Assigned identity allows the virtual machine to have an Entra account in the same way that a computer account might exist in an Active Directory domain. You can assign rights and permissions to a System Assigned identity in the same way that you would assign rights and permissions to a user account. When you do this to a virtual machine System Assigned identity, the virtual machine has the permissions and rights assigned to the identity. System Assigned identities are tied to the entities they are associated with. If you delete the virtual machine System Assigned identity will be removed from Entra. A User Assigned identity allows you to assign a pre-created Entra account to the virtual machine. You have to manage the life cycle of a User Assigned identity. These are good when you might want to assign the same identity to multiple virtual machines to give applications running on those virtual machines access to an AI resource. In the Azure portal, we enable the system identity by setting the status to On and selecting Save. We respond to the dialog about enabling System Assigned Managed Identity. This dialog informs us that the identity will be VM for AI applications, which is the same name that is assigned to the virtual machine. We select Yes on the dialog box. The System Assigned Managed Identity is created. The portal displays the new hexadecimal ID for the identity. Luckily, we don't need to remember this information as we will be interacting with the System Assigned Managed Identity using its Entra name. We return to the home page of the Azure portal. We select our Azure OpenAI deployment. This opens the Azure OpenAI deployment page in the Azure portal. Note that this is not the AI Studio. When assigning rights and permissions, we perform these steps in the same manner as we would with any other Azure resource. On the Azure OpenAI service page, choose the Access Control IAM section. On the Access Control IAM page, choose Role Assignments. This will display all current role assignments to this Azure OpenAI deployment. To create a new role assignment for the virtual machine so that applications running on that virtual machine can access this instance of the OpenAI service, we select Add, choose Add Role Assignment. On the Role tab of the Add Role Assignment page, we enter the words Cognitive Services Open in the search box. This will limit the list of displayed roles to those roles that are associated with OpenAI. Here we select the Cognitive Services OpenAI user role and then choose Next. On the Members tab of the Add Role Assignment page, we select the Managed Identity Radio button. We choose the Select Members option. This opens the Select Managed Identities page. On the Managed Identity drop-down, select Virtual Machine. The System Assigned Managed Identity that we just created is listed. We select that identity and choose Select. We then choose Review and Assign. The role assignment is created. We are returned to the Role Assignments page, and we can verify that the system assigned Managed Identity VM for AI applications has been granted the Cognitive Services OpenAI user role.